Hey y'all, and welcome back to my channel. I know y'all are like, this bitch is hella inconsistent. She's never around. I know, and it's not on purpose. Everything is pretty okay. I'm always talking to my friends about like this crazy stuff, and I'm like, damn, like my YouTube really deserves a time when cause I'm a spontaneous bitch, okay? Real spontaneous. I have a tendency to just pick up and do the craziest of stuff. So we're gonna talk about the time when I went to Puerto Rico with a guy that I met from Tinder.
Wait a minute.
How can we run this back for y'all? We're gonna call this boy Experiment Y. So I met Experiment Y on Tinder, maybe let's say January. It was right after New Year's. I had slid across him, you know, I'm swiping or whatever, and I'm looking and I'm seeing. When I tell you this man is the finest piece of specimen of God, whoo! At the time, he was looking like a hot piece of spice, okay? And I was like, yes, sir. But there's always that little moment you have with Tinder where you don't know if they gonna have liked you back, or if, you know, maybe they didn't get around to liking you yet, or even seeing your profile or whatever. So I was like, oh my God, like, is he even gonna like me back? Like, he is real out of my league. Like, so I slid right or whatever. And it said we matched. And I was like, God, I know this has to be a sign because this man looks good, okay? And when I say good, I mean better than my mom's home cooked meal. We was talking, we chatted it up. He hit me with the, I think this must be fate. I, gave him my number. We exchanged numbers. So then we started FaceTiming. Mind you, this is all within like maybe a week and a half. But hold on, let's back it up. I've had Tinder for a little bit at this point, but I have never ever met anybody off Tinder, like ever. So for me to have done this was like real out of this world. I didn't meet him just off strength. I met him because at the time I was in nail school, and the girl that I was in nail school with said she had knew him. They had went to school together, so they knew each other and they were close. Obviously, I wanted to know what kind of close they were before I started talking to him. So, I asked my questions or whatever the case was. And, she was like, oh, no, that's my bro. You should talk to him. Whatever. I ended up meeting him in person. Don't do anything I did in this video. But, like, I went to his house, and it was, like, maybe I want to say 10 o'clock at night. And as soon as I pulled up to his crib, I thought in my head, like, everything my mother ever taught me, the replay, I really should not be here right now. I don't know this man from a hole in the wall. What if he tries to kidnap me? All in all, I still took my ass in this man's house, knowing damn well I shouldn't have been there. Fuck it, we do shit we ain't supposed to do sometimes. And sometimes we just gotta pray that we don't die, get raped or killed on the way there. This was red flag numero uno, okay? Like, I should have never went to his house. For number two for me was that when I went to his house, he wasn't even, like, properly dressed, like, at all. I think he had on shorts, like basketball shorts, and a robe. Mind you, I came to his crib with makeup on my face. Like, I looked cute. Like, I'm thinking we going, really sit up, talk, smoke, this, that, and the third. Negative. That's not the type of vibe he was on. I guess he thought that I was gonna sleep with him off rip or whatever the case was. But that's not how I was raised. So, you gotta work for this cookie, honey. I'm sorry. Like, I ain't a prostitute, but she ain't free. So, we ended up talking or whatever. We smoked. We had a really good time. I left that night. He ain't get no nookie. None of that. He hit my line or whatever. He was calling me crazy. Like, he was FaceTiming me all the time. Yo, what are you doing? While he was at work, we would be on FaceTime. While I was at work, we would be on FaceTime. Like, it was really like something that was growing into a connection for me. And I was really genuinely loving having that somebody there. I was just so in love. Like, he was just everything I had ever wanted. Like, he was fine as hell. He had a good job. He lived on his own. He was older. Mind you, he lived 30 minutes away. He didn't drive, so I was the only one that had drove. He was 25, and In my opinion, at the time of what a man should be, he was representing that. But later on in the story, you'll see how he less and less became that man. The first time that we hung out, we chilled at his house. I had seen him, I want to say 3 more times after that. It was Valentine's Day. This was red flag number 3. So it was Valentine's Day, and I didn't speak to him the whole day. Nothing, no hey, no nothing, no happy Valentine's Day. Not that that's what I was expecting. Niggas these days, they play games, so I was expecting that much. Like, oh, maybe he got a girlfriend. To this day, I still have no idea if he actually did or does have a girl, but I just stopped wasting my breath to try to figure it out. The day after Valentine's Day, he hit me up and he was like, oh, I want to do something with you. So I was like, all right, bet. Like, let's see if we could work something out. Maybe he's trying to make up for whatever the case was why we didn't speak on Valentine's Day. It was our first ever official date. So we went to a hibachi restaurant with my sister and my nephew. We had a really good time. We went to the movies. Anywho, from there, I was like really feeling him, and like I'm just like, damn, like he's like really the ideal man that I want. Like, at this point, I want to say we're like maybe 2 months in, maybe 2.5 months in. At this point, I'm cooking him home cooked meals, taking him home cooked fried chicken, baked macaroni and cheese, collard greens, like cornbread. Like, I was really cooking like I was this nigga's bitch. Mind you, we never had that discussion. I got a little too hype and I wasn't playing my role correctly. I think I was stigmatized, truthfully, because I really could not seem to figure out why. To this day, I still can't have a conversation with him and feel comfortable to actually tell him how I'm feeling about things. If I'm intimate with you, if I'm sleeping with you, if we're supposed to be a vibe or whatever the case is, then I should be able to talk to you and let you know how I'm feeling at all times. Never had that security with him. So my friend decided that she wanted to go on a trip and she wanted to make it a couples trip. So although me and Experiment Y were not an actual thing at this point in time, you know, we was rocking like we was. So I had asked him if he wanted to go. 3 months into meeting this man off Tinder, built up the courage, and I'm just like, hey, like, listen, me and my friends are, you know, planning to take a trip, and I don't know if you're down to go, but I really would like to get to know you outside of Pennsylvania. He was all for it, and bitch, this is what made me want him even more. As soon as I said that to him and sent him the link for the flight, he booked it and sent me the screenshot. Girl, I don't know about y'all, but all I ever fucked with was broke ass niggas. So they could never do something like this. So this to me was like, damn, yo, like, really fuck with you. But that was dumb. In all actuality, yeah, maybe he did fuck with me, but clearly it wasn't enough because we don't fuck with each other anymore. I was going hard. I was like, bet, like, this is about to be my next big thing. Nope, played me. He wasn't texting me back. I would call him, he wouldn't call me back. He would never answer my phone calls, would be dubbing me for days, like go 2-3 days and not speak to me at all, and then hit me up on some regular shit like, oh, what's up? Nigga, what? What's up? You know, we had a conversation and I'm like, yo, for real, we better go on a trip. So I don't know if you still want to go on this trip, but you're acting hella weird. So if we need to talk, then we need to talk before this trip, because I'm not spending my money to be unhappy. And I'm definitely not spending my money to have attitude and argue with you for these whole however many days you about to be here. Like, it was like, no, nothing's wrong, this, that, and the third. Just sometimes I need my space. Space to me is, okay, we don't talk for a few hours. Okay, like maybe I'll speak to you once in the day. I was going 2-3 days without speaking to this man, and he thought that that was normal and regular. This was like the ultimate other red flag that should have like punched me in my face and been like, bitch, it's time to go. It was the day we were supposed to leave for Puerto Rico, and he knew that I was coming to his house for a certain time so we could go to the airport. Mind you, I'm doing all this running, the running to go get him, the running to his house, the running to bring him the cooked food, all that, the running to the dick appointment, sis, and guess who's paying for my gas? Me. Not once, oh, let me Uber over there, like, you need gas? Nothing. I hate an inconsiderate nigga. It costs money to see you, nigga. Like, I'm confused. I get that everybody don't got it like that, but sometimes in life you have to just be considerate. And that this man, he just was not that. Like, he was the farthest thing from considerate I have ever met. He knew what time we were supposed to leave, And I texted him and I'm like, okay, well, you know, I'm going to be coming to your house this time. So I text him around the time I'm about to leave. And I'm like, oh, I'm on my way. And he's like, oh, I'm not home yet. What do you mean you're not home yet? You were supposed to have been home. So that way, when I got to your house, we could leave and be on time for our flight. I get to his house and now I'm waiting outside. 30 minutes. Then he gets in the car and I have an attitude. And he's wondering why I have an attitude. You're 30 minutes late. Now we're both late. So we're driving and he's like, oh, well, I don't want you to have an attitude, this, that, and the third. This, and this happened, yada, yada, yada. Just running excuses down the line. So we get to the airport. Everything's fine. And I'm going to insert a few clips here. So we make it to Puerto Rico and me and my friend had separate Airbnbs because we had gotten into our own beef about the sleeping arrangements. It was when we came home from Puerto Rico that everything wasn't fine. Like for the first week or so, or week and a half, everything was great. Like me and him were A-okay, spending all of our time together. Like I'm always on the phone with him, who's whispering sweet nothings in my ear. Oh, nobody got me like you got me. And then a week and a half later, he starts acting funny. Now I mean funny, like he answers my phone call on his time. And quite frankly, I'm not on your time, honey. I'm not an Apple Watch, baby. I'm not on your time, okay? I just felt like he was very much a user. Like the sex got bad. So I took it upon myself to be like, all right, you know what? I don't want to do this anymore because this is not pleasing me and I'm settling. And he's going to ask, what you mean settling? I'm settling, honey. I'm settling. Settling for this whack-ass dick. Settling for these whack-ass excuses. Settling for everything. I'm settling for you. And I don't settle. 2020 has taught me one of many things is that if I'm going to do anything, I'm going to do it to my fullest ability and 100%. And I want everybody around me to have that same energy. And he wasn't on that type of time. He still today isn't on this type of time. That's why his number is non-existent. You know, I don't block people. I'm not a blocker. You're going to see me, honey. You're going to see me. That's it. That was my experience with my first and last Tinder date. Thank you. Because I genuinely had so many feelings for this boy and things would have worked out so differently had he been a different person. But that's just not how it worked out. And that's okay too. Sometimes God puts people in your life for a reason or for a season. That boy was definitely for a season. Thankfully, the season is over and spring will be coming out real soon. When I fuck with you, I really fuck with you. And for him to have really played in my face like that, I hope you watch this video so you know how I feel. You're a piece of shit. Fuck you and the horse you rode in on. My experience with Puerto Rico, that was amazing. And I had a grand time. Shit. I really do want to be able to redo Puerto Rico at least one time before I turn 25. I feel like the people that I went with this time didn't really work out as well as I would have wanted it to. That's it, and that's all for this video. But if you want to see another The Time When I, stay tuned, like, comment, and share. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn the post notifications on so you know next time I post. I love y'all. Stay safe, and I'll see y'all in my next video.